So let us start with the last topic of the ear diseases, that is the Meniere's disease. And by definition, the Meniere's disease is the disease of the endolymphatic sac, and particularly the scala media. And this, as you know, that this scala media contains the endolymph. So there is a problem in the production or absorption of the endolymph into the scala media. So this causes the Meniere's disease, which is characterized by the sudden paroxysmal attack of vertigo. What is the paroxysmal attack of vertigo? Paroxysmal means sometimes there is vertigo and sometimes there is no vertigo. When the disease is very active, there is vertigo. When the disease is not active, there is no vertigo. So this is called the paroxysmal attack of vertigo. There is a sudden paroxysmal attack of vertigo. There will be the deafness, which will be the sensory neural deafness, because this is the disease of the endolymphatic sac. So it is a sensory neural deafness, and whenever there is a sensory neural deafness or conductive deafness, there is always tinnitus in association. So this is the disease of the endolymphatic sac, which is characterized by the sudden paroxysmal attack of vertigo, sensory neural type of deafness, and the tinnitus. If we go on the pathology, as I told you, that there is a problem in the production or absorption of the endolymph into the scala media. So either there is an overproduction of the endolymph is produced into the scala media by the stria vesicularis. Stria vesicularis is a bunch of the blood vessels, and these blood vessels secrete the endolymph. So, and this, there is the absorption of the endolymph also into the scala media. So, endolymph production and endolymph absorption, they both go side by side. If there is any problem in the production of the endolymph, or there is any problem into the absorption of the endolymph, there will be the accumulation of the endolymph into the scala media, and this will cause the disease which is known as the Meniere's disease. Now, as this figure shows, that this is the part of the scala media. This is scala tympani, this is scala vestibuli, this is scala media, and this scala media contains the hair cells, and this is a membrane which is separating this scala vestibuli and the scala media. This is known as the Wegener's membrane. In this portion, this contains the stria vesicularis, and this stria vesicularis causes the production of the endolymph, which is accumulated here, and it is absorbed here also. Now, whenever there is an overproduction of the endolymph, it will cause the pressure on this Wegener's membrane. So definitely this Wegener's membrane will go like this, and after all there will be a breach or a break into the Wegener's membrane. And whenever there is a break into the Wegener's membrane, there is a mixing of the endolymph and the perilymph. The scala tympani and the scala vestibuli, they contain the perilymph, and this portion, the scala media, contains the endolymph. This endolymph is rich in the sodium, and this perilymph is rich in the potassium. So whenever there is the mixing of the endolymph and the perilymph, the concentration of sodium and potassium will increase and decrease. Sodium will increase, the potassium will decrease, and whenever you know that the sodium and potassium, they are very, very important consequence for the production of the action potential. अगर आपको फिजियोलॉजी याद होगी तो एक्शन पोटेंशियल तब प्रोड्यूस होता है जब पोटेशियम गेट बंद होते हैं, सोडियम गेट खुलते हैं, सोडियम अंदर जाता है, पोटेशियम बाहर आता है, तो एक्शन पोटेंशियल प्रोड्यूस होता है. लेकिन अगर सोडियम बहुत ज्यादा बढ़ जाए या पोटेशियम बहुत ज्यादा बढ़ जाए, तो फिर एक्शन पोटेंशियल प्रोड्यूस नहीं हो सकता। जब एक्शन पोटेंशियल प्रोड्यूस नहीं होगा तो क्या होगा, नर्व सिग्नल्स प्रोड्यूस नहीं होंगे, and these nerve signals are carried by the vestibular nerve to the brain. जब वो प्रोड्यूस ही नहीं होंगे तो क्या होगा, imbalance of the body, and that imbalance of the body will cause the vertigo. So whenever there is the over accumulation of endolymph into the scala media, and that overproduction will cause the pressure on the resinous membrane. There will be the breach in the resinous membrane. There will be the mixing of the endolymph and the perilymph. Sodium and potassium concentration will be disbalanced. Action potential will not be produced. अब आपकी बॉडी बैलेंस में है, उसकी वजह से ये है कि ये जो सिग्नल्स हैं ये ब्रेन के जिस राइट कॉर्नर वाला है तो ब्रेन के लेफ्ट एरिया में जो है वो सिग्नल भेजते हैं। जब लेफ्ट कॉर्नर वाला होगा तो ब्रेन के राइट हिस्से में सिग्नल भेजते हैं। तो ये दोनों सिग्नल जो है आपस में मिसमैच होकर आपकी बॉडी को स्टैटिक रखते हैं। लेकिन अगर एक सिग्नल भी जो है वो डेफिशिएंट हो जाए तो दूसरा सिग्नल डेफिनेटली विल टेक ओवर एंड विल बी एक्टिवेटेड, so that there will be the disbalance of the body and it will cause the vertigo. So this is the main cause of the vertigo. After that, when there is the absorption of the endolymph will be decreased in this portion of the scala media. The resinous membrane will form like normal once again. And when there is a healing of the resinous membrane like normal resinous membrane, then again there will be the partition between the endolymph and the perilymph, and the action potential will be produced, and these signals will go to the brain, and again the body will be in the static position. There will be no vertigo. So this is the main cause of the paroxysmal vertigo, sudden paroxysmal vertigo. As far as the action potential is not produced, so definitely there will be the deafness, cochlear nerve will be involved. यहाँ पे जो हेयर सेल्स हैं वहाँ से कॉक्लियर नर्व निकलती है, जो कॉक्लिया सिग्नल निकलती है, दैट इज नोन एज द कॉक्लियर नर्व, एंड इट विल आल्सो सेंड द सिग्नल्स टू द ब्रेन, और आप जो है वो सुनते हैं। Whenever there is no action potential, this nerve will not send the signals to the brain again, and there will be the sensory neural type of the deafness. And whenever there is a sensory neural type of the deafness, there will be the tinnitus. So this is all the pathology of this disease. If we will go further, what will be the clinical features? And we know that there will be the vertigo. Which type of vertigo? Sudden paroxysmal vertigo. Deafness. Which type of deafness? Sensory neural deafness. Nystagmus. Tinnitus is there. Nystagmus. What is the nystagmus? Nystagmus is the over movement of the eyeballs, abnormal movement of the eyeball towards the right side or towards the left side, and this is called the nystagmus. जब भी vertigo होता है, अगर आपको मैं कहूँ कि आप जो है वो घूमें 4-5 मिनट तक घूमते रहें गोल गोल, तो क्या होगा, वर्टाइगो होगा। वर्टाइगो होगा तो आपकी आंखें जो हैं वो लेफ्ट और राइट को जो है वो टर्न होगी। वजह उसकी है कि वो बॉडी को स्टैटिक रखने के लिए लेफ्ट राइट जो है वो आई बॉल्स टर्न होते हैं। जब भी कोई ऑब्जेक्ट आप उसको देखते हैं और उस पर अपनी नजरें स्टेबलाइज करते हैं तो आपकी बॉडी स्टैटिक होती है। लेकिन अगर वर्टाइगो होगा तो आंखें जो हैं, आपकी जो आईज है वो ट्राई करेंगी कि किसी एक ऑब्जेक्ट पे आपकी नजर ठहर जाए और आपकी बॉडी स्टैटिक हो जाए, so that there is a movement of the eyeballs right and left, and that is called the abnormal movement of the eyes, and this is called the nystagmus. So whenever there is a vertigo present, there will be the nystagmus also present. Whenever there is vertigo, there is again nausea, vomiting, pallor, sweating, hypotension, and headache. This is but natural because all the nerve signals are either excited or either depressed. तो उसकी वजह से जो है वो वोमिटिंग भी हो सकती है, वोमिटिंग का सेंटर स्टिमुलेट हो सकता है, पेलर, स्वेटिंग, हाइपोटेंशन, हेडेक, ये सब चीजें नर्व सिग्नल्स की वजह से होती है, या तो नर्व सिग्नल एक्साइटेड हो जाते हैं या नर्व सिग्नल डिप्रेस हो जाते हैं. So these are the main clinical features: paroxysmal positional vertigo, sensorineural deafness, tinnitus, nystagmus. ये चार जो है ये important clinical features हैं. बाकी ज़ाहिर है vomiting, ये जो आपको vertigo होगा तो there will be the vomiting, nausea, pallor, sweating, hypotension and headache. So these are all associated symptoms. But the main symptoms are vertigo, deafness, tinnitus and nystagmus. If we go on the investigations, whenever there is a deafness, the basic investigation is the pure tone audiometry, and this pure tone audiometry or PTA is the investigation which gives you the clue that whether the deafness is sensory neural or it is conductive. So we should go for the pure tone audiometry. In this case, there is a sensory neural deafness. So in the sensory neural deafness, we want to know that whether it is the cochlear or extracochlear. Always whenever there is a sensory neural deafness, either it is the cochlea is involved or the nerve is involved. So we want to see that as far as in this condition, the cochlea is involved. So we want to see that either the cochlea is involved or the nerve is involved. So cochlear or extracochlear cause. We want to know that whether the cause is cochlear or it is extracochlear into the nerve. We will go for the speech audiometry. Then there is a caloric test, and then there is a glycerol diuretic test. हम इन चीजों को एक एक करके जो है वो डिस्क्राइब करेंगे. If we go on the audiogram, उस दिन भी मैं आपको बता रहा था audiogram में. Now this is the graph of the air conduction, and this is the graph of the bone conduction. Or this is the graph of the air conduction. I'm sorry. This is the graph of the air conduction, the red one, and this blue one is the graph of the bone conduction. So the normal graph should be either at 0 or 10, but this starts at 30. So the bone conduction is starting at 20, the air conduction is starting at 30, and it is going down and down and down. So it means that the bone conduction, this graph, is also decreased, air conduction is also decreased, and there is no gap between the air conduction and bone conduction. So this graph shows that the bone conduction is decreased, the air conduction is decreased, and there is no air-bone gap. When these three things are present, the decreased air conduction, decreased bone conduction, and no air-bone gap, this graph shows that there is the sensory neural hearing loss. Speech audiometry क्या है? ये ऐसी audiometry है जिसमें we used to give different words to hear. Now, if the patient can repeat more than 90% of the words, then it is 100% normal. But if he cannot repeat the words properly, then either it is the cochlear sensory neural hearing loss or it is extracochlear sensory neural hearing loss. In the cochlear neural hearing loss, the patient cannot interpret the sound or the words. About 40% of the words can be interpreted, 60% cannot be interpreted. उसको समझ ही नहीं आएंगे. अगर मैं ये कहूँ कि मेरे पास फोन है, अब मेरे पास फोन है में से 60% of the words cannot be interpreted. Only the 40% words can be interpreted. So when the 60% of the words cannot be interpreted properly, it means that there is a sensory hearing loss but cochlear type. Extracochlear में क्या होगा? एक भी वर्ड समझ में नहीं आएगा, नर्व भी काम नहीं कर रही, तो patient cannot interpret even a single word. So there will be non-interpretation of the words 100% whenever the nerve is involved. So if the 60% words cannot be interpreted, it is a cochlear disease. When 100% words cannot be interpreted, it is extracochlear or a nerve, purely nerve disease. So in this, by this speech audiometry, you can diagnose that there is the cause is in the cochlea or it is into the nerve. What is the caloric test? Caloric test is the test where we irrigate the external auditory canal with either the hot water or either the cold water. The water should be more than body temperature or should be less than body temperature. Now suppose we give the hot water, then what will happen? This hotness will pass through the external auditory canal to the tympanic membrane, from the tympanic membrane to the ossicles, and from the ossicles to the scala media. And when this hot air or hot water, the hotness reaches into the scala media, it will cause the fluid in the scala media will become hot. And when it will become hot, it will move. And when it will move, it will cause the vertigo. In the same way, if we give the cold water into the external canal, this cold wave will reach up to the scala media and will cause the coolness of the fluid, and this fluid will move in opposite direction. And when it will move in opposite direction, it will again cause the vertigo. So whenever the system of your scala media is normal, this normal system of scala media will cause the vertigo when you irrigate the external canal with the hot water or with the cold water. But suppose if this hot and cold water is not reducing the vertigo as well as the nystagmus, it means that your cochlea is not working properly. Your scala media is not working properly. And it means that there is some cause into the scala media. And the most important cause is the disease, Meniere's disease. Whenever there is no production of the vertigo in nystagmus, where we use the hot and cold water, it means that there is a problem in the scala media, and the main problem is the Meniere's disease. इंटरप्रिटेशन कैसे होगी कैलोरिक टेस्ट की कि अगर ये वर्टिगो प्रोड्यूस नहीं करता है तो इसको हम बोलते हैं कैनाल पैरेसिस. कैनाल पैरेसिस, पैरेसिस मींस पैरालिसिस. तो एक्चुअली तो कैनाल पैरालिसिस नहीं होती, लेकिन क्योंकि ये वर्टिगो प्रोड्यूस नहीं करती, इस वजह से इसको नाम दिया गया है कैनाल पैरेसिस. So whenever the canal पैरेसिस is present into the external auditory canal on the caloric test, it means that there is the Meniere's disease. Now there is again the glycerol diuretic test. What is the glycerol diuretic test? Glycerol is a substance which is a diuretic basically. So whenever you give the glycerol, there is a diuretic, there will be the diuresis. So what will happen? The body water will be excreted out. And in all in all the systems where the fluid is accumulated, like in scala media, this accumulated fluid will be excreted out when we give the glycerol because it is a diuretic. जब भी आप डाययूरेटिक देते हैं तो ये सब जो आपके सिस्टम्स में जो accumulation होती है वाटर की, वो accumulation जो है वो excrete out हो जाती है. इसी वजह से डाययूरेटिक कहते हैं. तो now first of all in this test you will take the pure tone audiometry, which will show the sensory neural hearing loss. When you will give the glycerol, there will be the diuresis, the accumulated water will be excreted out. There will be the normalization of the Reznor's membrane, the scala media and the scala vestibuli. There will be the membrane, this Reznor's membrane will be present between these two. There will be the membrane between the two fluids present in the scala media and scala vestibuli. So perilymph and endolymph, they become normal. The sodium and potassium, they will become normal. So when again you will take the pure tone audiometry, the pure tone audiometry will show you the graph of normal hearing. So whenever the glycerol diuretic test shows that the graph becomes normal on giving this glycerol diuretic, it means that there is accumulation of water. And this shows that glycerol test is positive. And glycerol test is positive when the Meniere's disease. I hope you understand well. So these four investigations are very, very important. The PTA will show the sensorineural and hearing loss. The speech audiometry will show the decreased interpretation of the words. The caloric test will show you the canal gases, and glycerol dilated test will improve the hearing when you will give the glycerol. Now we will come on the treatment. So first of all, we always give the medical treatment. If there is a vertigo, severe vertigo, you will give the anti-vertiginous drugs. Sometimes when we give the anti-vertiginous drugs, the patient becomes symptomless for about 2-3 years even. So we give the anti-vertiginous drugs. We restrict the salt and water intake because there is accumulation of water. The salt will increase the accumulation of water. And whenever there will be the more accumulation of water, the more symptoms will be produced. So we restrict the salt and water intake. And we give the vasodilator drugs, because when we will give the vasodilator drugs, the accumulation of the water can be absorbed very easily through the blood vessels. So three things are very important: anti-vertiginous drugs, vasodilator drugs. Beta-histine hydrochlorine is the best vasodilator drug which can be used here, and we restrict the salt and water intake. So in these, by these three steps, we can get the symptomless patient for many years. We have seen the patients on this treatment symptomless for 2 to 3 years. So dosing salvo होता है. So we can use this medical treatment in the Meniere's disease. But if the medical treatment fails, then we will go for the surgical treatment. Now this surgical treatment is again of two types. One type of the surgery is very simple surgery, and it is a conservative surgery. The second is destructive surgery. So there are two types of surgery: conservative surgery and destructive surgery. अब हम conservative surgery कहाँ use करेंगे, destructive surgery कहाँ use करेंगे? When the patient is symptomless in between the attacks, the patient's hearing is normal in between the attacks, but the frequency of attacks is much more. हर दूसरे तीसरे दिन अटैक हो जाता है, हर दूसरे तीसरे दिन अटैक हो जाता है. मेडिकल ट्रीटमेंट देते हैं, फिर भी जो है वो अटैक हो जाते हैं. लेकिन in between the attacks, the hearing is normal. Then we will go for conservative surgery. We will not go for the destructive surgery if the normal hearing is present between the attacks. So in the conservative surgery, there is the decompression of the endolymphatic sac. We can go for the vestibular neurometry. ये सब चीजें करने के लिए हमें मेस्टाइड खोलना पड़ेगा, याद रखिए. So when we will open the mastoid and we will enter the internal ear through the semicircular canals, we can decompress the endolymphatic sac which is present behind the semicircular canal. Vestibular neurectomy, तो वहीं से हम vestibular nerve जा रही होती है, तो we can cut it out. This could be done under the microscope. And again, there is an endolymphatic subarachnoid space shunt operation. We keep a shunt between the endolymphatic sac and the subarachnoid space. When we will keep the shunt, whenever there is the overproduction of the endolymph into the endolymphatic system, this overproduction will excrete it out into the subarachnoid space by this shunt. So this is called the endolymphatic subarachnoid space shunt operation. These three operations are the conservative surgeries. When we use these surgeries, conservative surgeries, when there is a normal hearing between the attacks. Now there is a destructive surgery, because sometimes the conservative surgeries, they do not work. Or when the hearing is totally lost, and there is no hearing between the attacks. The patient is hearing less, and there is no hearing between the attacks. So when there is no hearing, तो हमें hearing को preserve करने की जरूरत ही नहीं है. So then we will go for the destructive surgeries, in which there is total labyrinthectomy, where we remove whole of the labyrinth. जब पूरी labyrinth ही remove कर देंगे, तो आपकी vestibular nerve भी गई, आपकी cochlear nerve भी गई. ठीक है जी. उसके अलावा we can cause the destruction of the labyrinth by ultrasonic machine. अल्ट्रासोनिक मशीन क्या करती है? अल्ट्रासोनिक साउंड होता है. ये अल्ट्रासोनिक साउंड जब भी आप इतना ज्यादा होता है अल्ट्रासोनिक साउंड कि whenever you present the ultrasonic sound through the labyrinth, this will cause the destruction of the labyrinth. So we give the ultrasonic sound to the labyrinth to destroy it. So total, this is one sort of the total labyrinthectomy. लेकिन इसमें सर्जरी की जरूरत नहीं पड़ती और डायरेक्ट हम अल्ट्रासोनिक साउंड ले सकते हैं to the labyrinth through the external auditory canal. So third thing is gentamicin injection. Okay, this gentamicin is again the medicine which causes the destruction of hearing. अगर नॉर्मल भी किसी को gentamicin बंदे को देंगे, so that will cause the destruction of the labyrinth and the hearing will be lost. So gentamicin is that much dangerous injection. We don't use the gentamicin in normal people. So this gentamicin is introduced through the round window membrane into the labyrinth, and this will cause this direct injection of the gentamicin will cause the destruction of the labyrinth. It is again the type of labyrinthectomy. So 3 operations: total labyrinthectomy, gentamicin injection, and ultrasonic destruction of the labyrinth. So this is all about the disease, and if there is any question, then you can ask. Is there any question?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
सर कैलोरिक टेस्ट समझ नहीं आया सर सही तरह.
कैलोरिक टेस्ट में हम कोल्ड वाटर और हॉट वाटर दोनों एक्सटर्नल ऑडिटरी कैनाल में देते हैं. ये कोल्ड वेव बनती है, ये वेव जाती है आपके थ्रू ऑसिकल्स इनटू द इंटरनल ईयर एंड इनटू द स्काला मीडिया. जब ये स्काला मीडिया में सपोज करें हॉट वेव पहुंच रही है, तो दिस हॉट वेव विल कॉज द हॉटनेस ऑफ द फ्लूइड. जब भी किसी मेटर को आप गर्म करते हैं तो क्या होते हैं, उसके पार्टिकल्स क्या होते हैं, एक दूसरे से दूर जाते हैं. जब ये उसके पार्टिकल्स एक दूसरे से दूर जाएंगे तो क्या होगा, वो मेटर जो है वो थिन हो जाएगा. अब ये क्योंकि जो है स्काला मीडिया में वाटरी सॉल्यूशन है, तो वाटर के जो मॉलिक्यूल्स हैं वो एक दूसरे से दूर होंगे, थिन होगी. थोड़ा सा आप जो है वो सर को हिलाएंगे तो देयर विल बी द मूवमेंट ऑफ द endolymph, and this movement, whenever there is a movement of the endolymph, it will cause vertigo. तो अगर आप कोल्ड दें या हॉट दें, ये कोल्ड वेव और हॉट वेव ये दोनों एंडोलिम्फ की मूवमेंट कराती है. सिंपली आप ये समझिए, जब भी एंडोलिम्फ मूव करेगा तो वर्टाइगो होगा. ये है नॉर्मल प्रोसीजर. लेकिन अगर सपोज करें कि डिस्ट्रक्शन है आपके स्काला मीडिया में और उसने हेयर सेल्स डैमेज कर दिए हैं, बहुत ज़्यादा ओवर प्रोटेक्शन हो रही है एंडोलिम्फ की, ठीक है, मिक्सअप हो गया है आपका सोडियम और पोटेशियम, एक्शन पोटेंशियल प्रोड्यूस ही नहीं हो रहा है ड्यू टू द मिक्सचर, तो वर्टिगो कहाँ से होगा, चाहे आप कितना भी कोल्ड वाटर दें, कितना भी हॉट वाटर. तो अगर तो ये वर्टिगो होता है तो इट मीन्स दैट द पेशेंट इज नॉर्मल. लेकिन अगर ये वर्टिगो नहीं होता तो उसको कहते हैं केनाल पैरेसिस. तो जब केनाल पैरेसिस पॉजिटिव होगी तो इट मींस दैट देयर इज अ डिजीज इनटू द स्काला मीडिया. और स्काला मीडिया में कॉमनेस्ट डिजीज जो है वो मेनियस डिजीज होती है. अब समझ आई.
यस सर।
Any other
और
question?
जी सर, सर एक जनरल क्वेश्चन था सर, इससे रिलेटेड नहीं था, ऐसे जनरल पूछना था सर। वो ये था कि सर मोस्टली सर ये होता है कि जैसे हम बड़े लोग भी या सर छोटे बच्चे भी बात लेते हैं तो सर पानी चला जाता है कान में, तो फिर सर उसको मतलब क्या करना चाहिए, उसके लिए मतलब ट्रीटमेंट क्या है या क्या करना चाहिए सर?
नहीं, पानी कान में जाना नहीं चाहिए नॉर्मली, बिकॉज
जी सर।
एक्स्ट्रा ऑफ द कैनाल इज टॉर्शियस, इट इज एस शेप। तो एस
जी
शेप अगर एक्स्ट्रा ऑफ द कैनाल है तो उसमें पानी कभी भी नहीं जाएगा। लेकिन समटाइम्स व्हाट हैपेंस कि आपकी जो है वो वेक्स जो नॉर्मल बन रही होती है वो रिमूव नहीं होती, और जब ये रिमूव नहीं होती तो वहाँ पे अक्यूमुलेट होती है तो कंडक्टिव हेयरिंग लॉस हो जाता है। ये तो हो सकता है, लेकिन पानी अंदर चला जाए नॉर्मली ये नहीं हो सकता, ये होता नहीं। Any other question? Any other question?
सर वो ऑडियोग्राम की जो डायग्राम थी वो आप रिपीट कर देंगे, बीच में आवाज बहुत कट गई थी।
अच्छा जी, तो ये तुमने पीछे जाना पड़ेगा। एक मिनट जरा होल्ड करें।
जी सर।
अबा, हेलो।
जी
ठीक, ओके। ये नजर आ रही है आपको पीपीटी?
जी सर।
ये दो ग्राफ बनते हैं। इसमें दो ग्राफ बनते हैं। दिस ब्लू ग्राफ इज द बोन कंडक्शन। मैंने पहले भी उस दिन भी आपको बताया था कि हम दो चीजें देख रहे हैं इसमें, एक एयर कंडक्शन, एक बोन कंडक्शन। ये ग्राफ बनता है बोन कंडक्शन का, और ये जो रेड वाला ग्राफ है ये बनता है एयर कंडक्शन का। ठीक है जी। नॉर्मली ये दोनों ग्राफ 10 पे होने चाहिए, लेकिन अगर 10 से 20 डेसिबल है या 30 डेसिबल है, इट मींस दैट देयर इज अ लॉस ऑफ डेसिबल्स।
नहीं ने पुट खणी करे न रखी रही वैसे वरी मथो ता जो दिखावे सुबह ने मना करसे अगों भी ने मना करसे हाने वो गरम थी बाबा पखो एडो गोरो हाने तू फिर पाने गोडन में सूरत है वो तू खणी थी सके इने जो घणो मथो न फिर आयोस ने वरी। हां
ये बेटा समझ आई आपको? अब ये जब एयर कंडक्शन का ग्राफ और बोन कंडक्शन का ग्राफ साथ साथ चल रहा हो तो ये तीन चीजें इंटरप्रेट कर रहा है। एक तो डेसिबल लॉस है, देयर इज अ डिक्रीज ऑफ द हियरिंग either on bone conduction or on hair conduction. So air conduction graph and bone conduction graph both are decreased. There is no gap between the air conduction and bone conduction. तो तीन चीजें अगर हों, एयर कंडक्शन का ग्राफ डिक्रीज हो, बोन कंडक्शन का ग्राफ डिक्रीज हो और एयर बोन गैप बीच में ना हो, तो इट शोज दैट दिस इज
तंदुआ
दिस इज
जहां
दी।
तू मजबूर पाण जी जोड़ी करे ना
बाबा विच में ना ॻाल्हायो प्लीज। तो ये तीन चीजें अगर हो, एयर कंडक्शन, बोन कंडक्शन दोनों डिक्रीज हो, एयर बोन गैप ना हो, तो ये बताता है कि ये सेंसरी न्यूरल हियरिंग लॉस है।
ठीक है सर।
समझ आई बेटा?
जी सर।
सर स्पीच ऑडियोमेट्री रिपीट।
ऑडियोमेट्री बार रिपीट नहीं करूंगा, अब ये पीपीटी भेजूंगा आपको तो उसमें देख लीजिएगा। ठीक है, ये वैसे ही रिकॉर्ड हो रहा है तो रिकॉर्ड सुन लीजिएगा।